Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
Everybody has their own opinions on alcohol and drug addiction, but until you've been there, your opinion means nothing. You don't control addiction, it controls you. There are some lucky ones who have beat it, but don't think because they're still alive that life is gravy. They fight every day, all day to stay sober and clean. It's a constant battle from the time they open their eyes until they close them, and it never goes away. Most are good people who made a bad choice. Battling an addiction is a beast for the person addicted and the ones who love them. My name is Peggie M. My sobriety date is March 9th, 2014.
Addiction doesn't discriminate against gender. There's no doubt that substance use disorder affects women differently than men. And unfortunately, when it comes to women's addiction statistics, the information is limited. Today, on Ask the Messengers, we bring you another episode of Women Do Recover with our street reporter, Lashon Battle. Today, her guest panelists are Laura A., Margaret L., Terry P., and Barbara M. And collectively, these ladies represent 91 years of recovery. They are here to let the world know that women do recover and how they maintain their recovery in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic and every day. Ask the Messengers begins now. Take it away, LaShawn.
Today on Ask the Messengers, I brought my sisters with me, women in recovery, because women do recover. I am also a person in long-term recovery. My drug of choice was crack. I have 27 years clean. Barb?
Thank you, Sean, for inviting me on your show. I am so grateful for that. And my clean date is April the 9th of 2009. I have 12 years clean. I'm super excited. Women do recovery. I'm starting to live today, and I am grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret.
Hi, family. My name is Margaret. I am a recovering addict. I want to thank you for allowing me to come on and share my experience, strength, and hopes. And my clean day is May the 2nd, 2010.
All right, Laura.
Hi, my name is Laura A., and I'm a grateful recovering addict. I'd like to thank you, LaShawn, for asking me to come on to Ask the Messenger to share my experience, strengths, and hopes. My clean date is 11/30/01. I have 20 years clean and serene and loving the life of recovery.
All right, Terry.
Hi, thank you again, Sean, for having me on here. My name is Terry P. My drug of choice was crack cocaine and alcohol. My clean date is October the 6th of 2000, and it's nothing like being clean.
No, that's right. Thank you all, ladies, for your participation. What do you ladies do to maintain your recovery?
My name is Laura A. again, right? And I think I forgot to mention my drug of choice at the end of the road.
Okay.
For active drug addiction was crack cocaine. And what I do to try to stay buoyant and to live this life in recovery, when we get here, you have to take some suggestions, and in process of doing that, you get some good orderly directions, and one of them is that, we're told repetitiously that we never have to use again, no matter what. And I live by that. I live by that, just knowing that I don't have to use any drugs at all, at any time, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what. So that sustains me. And I do work a rigorous program 12 steps and 12 traditions. I try to practice them in my life, in all my affairs, you know, as needed, necessary, on a daily basis. You know, don't become perfect, but you know, hey, we don't become perfect. We do recover. Yes.
Terry, I see you down there. Come on with it.
What I do is I get up, I go to meetings. During the pandemic, we went to Zoom meetings. We sat, we listened, we shared, we made sure that we stay connected with other recovering addicts. We didn't go to wet places. We didn't hang around wet faces. We did all that it took. The same thing that it took for us to go out to get one puff, one pull, one drink. We do the same thing, but in a positive manner. We do the same thing to stay clean. It is imperative that we stay out of those places and get reconnected with people that are doing the same thing that we are doing. And man, this is a whole new life for me.
Okay, Margaret, how do you maintain your recovery today?
I stay connected to be protected. I get involved. I do whatever it takes. I have no excuses. I go out. I get involved with my recovery. I get on the Zoom meetings. I chair the Zoom meetings. I do whatever it takes to stay clean. I don't deviate. I am so grateful that God has allowed me so many chances to get it right. He brought me in the rooms of the program for you guys can help me so that I can help someone else. This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And someone else, you know, and I didn't share my drug of choice, but it was crack. And I'm just grateful I don't look like what I've been through. And just keep coming no matter what. I am in the no matter what crew. And I feel that if it's anyone out there struggling, if I can do it, you can do it. Don't lose hope. You can do it.
Okay. Barb.
I am super excited about this process called recovery. We can make it today. Through the pandemic, I couldn't get the Zoom together because I was struggling with the computer stuff. I'm like, my phone is just, nothing was kind of going bad for me there. So because of the 12-step program, they supply literature for me to purchase. I use that literature. I read it. I connect with other women that will pull me up when I'm feeling low. I pull them up when they're low. We connect with each other through the phone calls. We pray for each other. We love on each other. We encourage each other. People in my life that are positive, and what I remember, if I don't remember anything else, is don't pick the first one up. I might go around playmates, but I'm not playing with them. It's a different mindset. I finally got to know myself through this pandemic. It forced me to know me, because I was in here by myself. So me and the walls, so I had to say, hey, you got to hold on, my sister, because you can't go to them places right now. So you have to learn how to love yourself. So I started to love on me. I started to get to know, who are you? After the drugs, now what? What you got, sister? Bring it. So I bring it to myself. I focus on my goals in life. I focus on what the direction I want to go in my life today versus what I chose on the dark side. So I'm walking in the light today, and I'm grateful for that. Women have become a tool. First, I thought, I can't get along with women. But today, women do recover. I'm loving the recovery with the women that I can identify, with the stories. I can identify with the hope shot that y'all give me. And I'm just grateful. Keep coming back. No matter what you do, don't ever stop stopping. Keep coming back and don't pick the first one up, and love yourself. Give yourself a hug.
When we return, our panel discussion continues as they talk about how they maintain their recovery in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ask the Messengers will be right back. We're back, and in case you're just tuning in, our street reporter Lashon Battle, along with her guest panelists, are discussing how they maintain their recovery. Now they are going to give some insights to how they maintain their recovery in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's go back to Lashon and her guest of Women in Recovery.
Now let's talk about how we got through the pandemic when it first hit, because I know for me, it was a challenge. because we had to learn how to go on Zoom. You know, addicts is very creative. We catch on quick, but I was already plugged into calling y'all. Most of us already networked together, so we called each other. We stayed on the phones until we learned about Zoom. What did you do before that? Zoom. Let's go to Margaret.
It didn't really affect me like it affected other people, because my higher power was always there with me. I don't know how to explain that to you guys, but I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of worship. I did a lot of those things, and it kept me sustained. It sustained me. And I'm so very grateful that he allowed that to happen to me. But I also got connected with Zoom and began to reach out to the other people. And it's beautiful feeling when you're going through the storm and God still have ways and means to still connect you to the juice.
Right.
You know, and so that's what I did. I stayed connected. What was going around me, I didn't allow it to get inside of me.
I was going into depression. I'm gonna tell the truth. It told me up when it first hit because it threw me off. I'm working from home. I'm used to being around people. Now you can't be around anybody. You know, even my family was like, "Don't come over here," and I'm like, this is not good. I'm family. You know, we're blood. You know, and people, even my friends, was like, "Don't come back here. You know, stay where you at." So I'm by me being by myself in an empty nest. My son went off to college. I'm like, what's going on? I went strictly into depression. I'm like, uh-oh. You know, I kept working my program, but I was feeling low and dark, you know, but I what I did was I got me a therapist. Okay, I'm a Zoom you. You know, I need some help. I'm in a dark spot and it's heavy right now. So I use my supports. I use my resources. And I kept reading my literature. I kept telling myself, and my higher power said, "You gonna make it through this." I turned the music on. I was in meditation a lot. Oh, woe is me, you know. But I felt like this is gonna be okay. It's time for you to get to know who you are. So I was fighting me, because after you get into recovery, you have to tell yourself, who are you now? You know, so I had to learn about who Barb is, for real, who is really who Barb is after the dope. You know, so I can't blame the dope no more. I don't have anything to call on with that. So now that I can't pick up, I got to pick up something else. So I had to pick up my self-esteem. I had to pick up my love for oneself. I had to pick up my goals. You know, what do you want to do with your life? How are you reaching out for the newer member? You know, how are you helping somebody along the pathway that's in this, through your pain? How's you helping someone else outside of your selfish self? So I had to learn how to not be so self-centered. Self-centered wasn't helping me. It was making me feel worse. You know, you just about you, but it's about others. I learned how to love outside of myself. What do love look like? The real L, you know, unselfish love, you know? So that's what I did. I learned how to just easy does it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't talk to the walls. Just talk to yourself just for today. Go on and love on yourself and start loving on others when you get that chance. So that's how I help myself through this process.
Come on, Terry.
I had a network before the pandemic, and I started getting a lot of text messages and phone calls. My friends, they were including me into the Zoom meetings without my permission. And I didn't get the opportunity to say, well, no, I'm not going to do it today. They grabbed on me. They made sure that when they called me, they already had me three-wayed in. I don't know if you guys even know what a three-way is, but they had me three-wayed into the meeting already. So I had already knew, they had already started sending text messages. And like you say, we were already networking because we keep in touch with each other to say, hey, I give an example. I was going to go to a balloon release. And due to the circumstances or the situation of the balloon release, I called someone when I'm not sure of what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And by us staying connected in that manner and you having someone that believes in you, is you start believing more in yourself, you stay connected to those meetings during the pandemic. So it was like, wow, I never felt left out.
Come on, Laura.
Through the pandemic, staying connected to the God of my understanding was my greatest resource and strength, you know, and confidence. And And that's basically what I did. I studied the word of God. I did research on the pandemic, on, what it meant, what the virus meant, all that kind of stuff, and I did a lot of socializing and interacting through social media. That's what I did. And I just kept the faith, my faith, I just kept the faith, and believed and trusted. And I was more like, be still. It was like, for me, be still, know that I am God. And that's how I lived my life throughout the pandemic.
I was identifying with everybody
Mhm.
because during the pandemic, I was spiritually up, I was spiritually down. I had meltdowns to where Terry and them came by my house, bought me balloons. They did the little drive-by. We love you. We stuck with each other, and that played a big part in my recovery, because strong people get weak too.
Come on now.
And it's okay,
Mhm.
and so I missed all my friends. I guess about after a year in, I started missing y'all, and I was having meltdowns because I'm like Terry and Barb. I'm a hands-on person. I like to get out. I move around, and it was hard at first when you used to moving, and you always busy, and then you got to sit down. Oh Lord, that was kind of hard, but it forced me to build a closer relationship with my higher power as well, and then we came together. Also, how I maintain my recovery is with this women's group.
Mhm.
We have a powerful women's group, very intimate, very strong group of ladies that get a lot of information that helps me.
Stay tuned for some hope shots from our guests right here on Ask the Messengers. And yes, women do recover.
We are back, and this episode is very inspirational to me. I too can identify with the need to stay connected and how COVID-19 came and tried to knock me off my square two. Depression, fear of the unknown tried to settle in my daily activities too. I definitely meditated more, talked to myself in the mirror more. I reached out to anyone who would listen to keep my own sanities in check. This panel of women are awesome individually, but together, let me remind you again that they represent 91 years together of recovery. And they did everything they needed to stay connected during a time that made life most difficult for us all. Now let's go back to Lashon as we wrap up this episode of Women Do Recover with some hope shots from our guests.
The hope shot is to encourage you, to let you know that if I could do it, you could do it. Like Margaret said it best, we don't look like what we've been through. We women in recovery, and we look like we in recovery. Recovery is possible from you. I don't look like I used to eat off the ground, but I did. I don't look like I used to sleep in an abandoned house, but I did. So the hope shot is that if the same God that got me up could get you up, come on, give them a hope shot, Barb.
Being able to connect to that spirit in the program, being able to connect with women by spirit to spirit, to hear something encouraging to keep you going when you feel like you can't make it. When you feel like, I remember being caught up in the drugs where I just knew I was going to die there. I didn't think I had no hope. But when I was able to hear from others that made it, I started following them. Well, you tell me what you did. Ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. We don't have to know it all, but it's okay to be able to do better for yourself. Because when you get into recovery, there's no limits. There's no limits in God. There's no limits in having a higher power that will pull you like nothing else. When I get like I just can't make it, and we do get down sometimes, because you got happy times, you got sad times. Pain is never going to be reduced in life, period. So whatever we have to go through, just know that you hold on just for a second. Sometimes you have to take a minute and just stay in the day. We don't have to worry about what I'm doing next year. Just what can I do just for today? Keep it simple and learn how to give yourself a big hug, because we're going to make this journey, because it's an awesome journey. Keep coming back.
Come on, Terry.
For me, the Hope Shop is knowing that I have people like me that I can call, that have experienced the same thing, and then I can make it one more day, one more millisecond, one more moment that I don't have to use. I don't have to use anger, bitterness, and resentment. I don't have to use drugs. I don't have to use other things, behaviors. I don't have to call little Ray and them. I can call other addicts that are doing exactly what I'm doing, and that'll be there for me, and man, this is an awesome place. It's like living 2 lives in one lifetime, and knowing that I'm continuing that personal relationship with the God of my understanding and the strength from the women, in the 12-step program. All I can say is, come on in. We've got open arms and hugs for you. You can do this.
Come on, Laura.
Okay, my whole shot is honesty. Be honest with yourself. When your mind and your spirit is telling you something about you, about what you need to do, recognize it, accept it, admit it, get honest about it, with yourself, that, because there's nothing that you have done that we probably haven't done, and or that someone hasn't done, or or that was done to you. Just get honesty will open up the door. Honesty will open up the door for you to step into a process of recovery. That's the hope. Just get honest with yourself.
Okay.
That's what I got.
The Hope Shop for me and goes out to you is that you never have to use again. And I'm just so grateful that, in spite of the mountain, you can climb the mountain, because God created us to climb mountains, and that somebody out there, they do love you. I love you. I'm rooting for you. I'm your biggest cheerleader. And just hold on, grab a rope and hold on real tight, and just understand that in spite of what it looks like, God is in the midst of it. Even when you don't see him working, he's working behind the scenes. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a shot. Give yourself a chance. You deserve it. That's my Hope Shot for you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. And we thank you, viewers, for continuing to look and support Ask the Messengers TV show. Just thank you. If there's any young lady out there that's struggling, you can always come see us at the church, 18400 Schaefer. We have a women's group. You don't have to be in a 12-step program to come to the women's group. Any woman that wants some help, you can see us at the women's group on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m., 18400 Schaefer. And thank you again, ladies. And what? Women
do recover.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Ask the Messengers TV show. We hope something you heard today helped you in some way to understand addiction and to give anyone struggling the desire to surrender and seek help.
Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives. You may not be able to go out in the street, you may not be able to come here to the show, but you can send your donation that helps us save lives.